back in the pancakes.
Hey.
Remember, everybody, what happens in this room stays in this room. That's funny. Okay, so I was thinking, Tortor, you know, as we were talking about what depth and stuff, how about testing love? Can you do the friend trick? Can you test your man? Girlfriend, let's do it. Let's test it. Let's test your man.
So, me personally, I won't be with a man that I feel like I need to test. If I feel like I have to test him, then I won't be with him. You don't
Well,
just,
he's been coming home. Wasn't he coming home late for a couple weeks? Why not test him?
if he's showing signs, then I might have to catch him in the trap some way. But I'm not gonna just test him for no reason.
Right?
But if I'm seeing something shady going on,
Right.
then I might have to call you and plot. But ideally, I wouldn't want to be with a man that I have to feel like I have to test. But
What are some different ways, girls? What are some different ways you could test your man? I'm saying
what?
the friend trick. There's the friend trick where the friend hits on him. That's a way, right?
Right.
Then we
So I
got
might set you up to go hit on him.
yeah.
I might have you in person, get a little close, see if he sets those boundaries.
Right?
They're gonna be sneaky and they're not gonna respond to text messages and none of that. So I'm gonna have you call him,
You know,
say something like, "Hey, I need you to pick me up from the bar. I'm really drunk." See if he comes. See, a good man, he gonna pick your friend up, but he gonna tell you that he's picking her up. And
yeah.
then what's he gonna do when you get there?
Right,
If
exactly.
you if you all
He's
over
gonna take
him,
advantage
like
of me because he thinks I'm drunk.
right.
Right? We got some active barflies in this bathroom. Can't you see them? They're all over the place.
Oh God,
You see those flies everywhere? My goodness.
the window's
Okay, so
open.
another way to test love is separate for a while. Like go on a little vacation without him.
Right.
Then you know if you're really missing him or he's really missing you. Then you know it's another sign of love, I think. I think it's a good way to test your feelings and test your relationship.
Right.
You know? Because they say that distance make the love grow fonder, makes the heart. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. Now, long distance relationships don't seem to work very well. But if you're in a relationship and then you do a little long-term like you do a separation, it really does kind of know your heart really does realize like I miss that person. I really love that person. What do you think about that?
I honestly think that, absence does make the heart grow fonder. I think it also not only tests the love, but it also tests trust as well. Do you trust me to go out and do these things? Do you trust me to let me go and not be blowing up my phone? What are you doing? Who's there?
Yeah.
How many guys are there? Like, some guys I've personally experienced. Some, like my ex, he would say, "How many men there have you had sex with?" And I'm like, "So that's what you see of me."
Wow.
Yeah. So if you're
I
thinking that
think
I
it's
had sex with these people, like that's saying speaks volumes of how you see me. So that
wow.
relationship didn't last very long.
Well, I usually they say when they're accusing you, they're the ones that are guilty of it.
Right.
Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but it is what they say. It seems to have a lot of truth behind it. All right, girls. So thank you for telling me that. I was thinking, what about feelings of love? Like passionate sex. That's a feeling of love, right? Passionate sex, not just your ordinary sex, but like passionate. Where you guys can come at the same time, right?
Right. See,
Yeah.
look, I think that when I've had meaningless sex, I've had sex with someone I was in love with. I've had sex with someone who, was more into me than I was him, vice versa. So, like, I'll tell you, it's unmatched when you both are right there with the feelings, and it's that mutual love. I mean, soon as it's in, oh shoot, getting
Yeah.
off at first touch.
Yeah.
You know?
I love that. And then there's the commitment when they actually want to be in a commitment with you. That's another way to see that they love you, because if they're willing to make a commitment and they don't want to see nobody else, then that means that they are like ready to move on to the next phase because they made a decision that you might be the one. That's what I think.
Right.
What do you think about that?
I think that definitely different things tell you whether you're ready for that, but that's definitely a strong indicator.
Yes. I agree. All right, y'all. Let's see what the barflies have to say about this.
Hey, look, it's you.
All right, so I kind of feel like if you have to like look at your dude's or female's phone, like if that's like even like brought up, something's like wrong already. But either end shouldn't care. They say 50% of divorces, the divorce decree has the word Facebook or some social media on it. So people be, out there.
I don't like it when someone's looking over my shoulder at my phone all the time. I have a friend right now that always looks at my phone and it drives me crazy.
Right. But if you're with your guy and he's like, you know what, I'm feeling a certain type of way, can I have your phone just to see? Would you be okay with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Like it's I feel the same exact way.
Like somebody always looking at my phone. I feel like, what are you looking? You trying to catch me? Or doing something or what? Like what the heck?
Exactly.
Have you guys ever looked at your partner's phone? Searched through your partner's phone?
Never.
Yes.
I never have. I never have.
Yep, I have.
You get like a number or something like that. Never to actually search for something though. Personally, it's either straight away if they change a password or anything like that, that it's done.
Sus. Make it make sense, right?
If you have to look through my phone, you don't trust me.
I understand that. Yeah.
If you have to look through my phone, you don't trust me.
Right. That's exactly.
No, but if you ask me to look through my phone, like I'll give you my phone, but I'm not going to ask you to look through your phone right then because they're like it's
Casey, you froze.
just
Barfly, Casey, you froze.
you would think all your stuff before they ask you phone, because if
Barfly,
like you say,
Casey,
I feel like whoever would do that
Casey,
first.
Casey, you got to back up about 2 sentences. You were frozen.
Oh, so if they ask you for your phone first, then I would give them my phone, if you're if you're not guilty or anything, but I'm not going to ask you for your phone right then, because if they come at you first, then they've already deleted, like you say, majority of the time, they're already guilty of something. So they've deleted something or whatever. And they're like, hey, let me see your phone, because they expect you to take theirs, So just sporadically later on, be like, here, let me see, a week later or so, just all of a sudden, hey, let me see your phone. But the apps do.
Okay,
Like on here, Facebook.
Let's go back. Let's get back to what we were talking about. Let's talk about the testing love. Is it okay to test love by doing the friend trick or separate for a long time? Or do you guys have any ideas? The testing love. How do we test love?
Well,
Separation is a big one.
That. No, you go.
Well, Tracy, you didn't answer the last one.
No, I just think that if you go to test love, then you're testing something which you're putting instantly a bad vibe on the relationship. If you're going to test it, then you obviously got no trust in the beginning.
I agree with that.
Things with childish or high school antics with things like that. I guess I'm a little bit maturer, so I just don't think those.
Right.
I'm going to beg to differ for Groovy, because I haven't really truly known love, true love. And so I wouldn't know like what it really was if it hit me upside the head with a baseball bat or something,
Right.
So
Right.
I would probably want to do tests to be sure that it was love, because I haven't known it, so I don't want to fall for a fake thing or whatever.
Right. So if you've ever known it, how would you know when it happens? How would you know?
I don't know.
Right. Exactly.
So that's why I would think if I thought it, I would want to do I would like to try the separation trick or something like that.
Separation. I don't think it's a trick. I think it's just kind of like
A test. I mean, a test.
Making you feel better inside if if they
right.
if they
Yeah.
do
I
what you
mean,
want,
yeah.
you mind.
Of course, you want to be with your partner, but you guys should be able to be okay with being apart for a short period at a time, but you
I'm
know,
gonna enjoy that.
What
ultimately, you
about
want
if
to
your
be.
partner can't
I
be
think-
alone? Will not be alone. Just like
You mean without
detrimental.
you? You mean
Yes, exactly. Even for like 5 days or 6 days.
can't or won't?
Can't.
Well, that sounds more like an illness. If they can't.
Like a what, Tracy?
Like an illness if they can't be alone. If everyone could be alone if they're, able and well-being. Like, do you know what I mean?
There's
Like,
no reason to separate that long unless there's actually like, I mean, if you're together, like, what would be the reason? I mean, if there's an actual like real like they have to leave
Fear of
out.
being alone. What about fear of being alone?
I think that instead of like looking at it as a trick, could be more so looking at it from like a day-to-day basis. If when you're not with someone and you long for their presence, I feel like that tells you enough that you have feelings for that person, strong feelings.
Exactly.
Or if they make an effort, like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while, like, let's do something. Then and they just
Exactly.
miss you. I don't I don't think there has to be like a trick or a trade or some type of elaborate scheme. Like, I'm gonna go away and see if see if he misses me. I think he should miss you all the time.
Tell
When
me
he's
how I
not
wanna
when you
say
wake up,
present.
when you wake up, that person's on your mind first thing when you wake up. Before
Check
you go to
your
bed,
phone
like
for a
that
good
person
morning
is on your
text.
mind.
So that's gonna fall under feelings of love. Like I mentioned earlier, passionate sex, love, things like that, commitment, wanting to get into a commitment with that person. So repeat that one more time, please, Casey. It falls under the next category, which is the feelings of love.
If you wake up in the morning and like that person is on your mind first thing, and then when you go to bed, that person is the last thing on your mind.
That's beautiful.
yeah, that's right at the start of the marriage, isn't it? Like, or the romance. I was with my ex for
Right.
20 years, so
And-
I definitely know both
That's a long
sides of it. I
time.
think
And that
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
back
right.
to the love versus lust thing too, because
Mhm.
unless you're waking up and going to bed thinking about penis or vagina, then
I don't see.
I know I do. I ain't gonna lie.
I want to be the reason you guys don't need batteries.
No.
Beautiful answer.
Mine's rechargeable. Mine's rechargeable.
Rechargeable.
It still has a
Yeah,
battery in it.
rechargeable.
I love
It
it.
still has a.
Beautiful. Welcome back to the Babe Cave. If you're new to my show, everybody, my name is Groovy's Beach. Please favorite my 3 bar 5s below me. And my co-host is Tor. We sure would appreciate those favorites, you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your time. We're still going on with the show. I just wanted to introduce myself and the show one more time. It's like being a fly on the wall in the ladies' room. We appreciate you guys being here. All right, Tor. So, the degree of depth of love, how about sacrifice? Are they willing to sacrifice? And is the love facade to get some? How about the guys that, hey, baby, I'm in love with you. Just because they want to get some, they act like they're in love. How about that garbage? That's taking advantage of the word love to a woman. Or for a woman that would use that word to a man.
It's called love bombing.
It's called what?
Love bombing.
Love bombing?
Mm-hmm. My other girlfriend, she was telling me about that just a couple of days ago on the phone. How men will love bomb you and say, I love you, I'm so infatuated with you, I want this, I want a future with you. I see you as my wife.
Yeah.
You want kids, I want kids. And
All
then
because they didn't know we were all pink inside.
right. And then they get the sex, and sometimes they might continue to do it because they want to continue having that sex.
Yeah, that's happened to me before. I've had more than one time in my life have I had a guy that played the I love you card on me just to get some. And then as soon as he got it, he was happy, he got it. He didn't realize that we're all pink inside. He went on to the next one, go on to the next one, the next. So, that's a narcissist, exactly, Tommy Hill. How do you know if she's the one? How do you know? How do you really truly know if she is the one? Or if he is the one? How do you know?
See, that's hard because I don't know if you can ever fully, truly, 100% know.
Right.
Do you believe that there's more than one soulmate for a person?
There must be more than one soulmate for a person because I had a teacher in school, and I went to a Christian school, private school, right? My teacher I was married for 35 years or 25 years it was maybe. Her husband left her for a man after 25 years of marriage. And that was like mind blowing to her. She never really, obviously, she didn't really know her husband all those years, or he transformed or something. But like,
Transformed.
like that is devastating. That would be so devastating after all those years of
He
marriage.
switched sides. He switched sides. That's because I would feel like I was lied to the entire time. Like you're not being
Exactly.
honest with me. I would feel lied to, deceived.
Exactly. You know, one more thing I was going to ask you. What about how much time should you actually date before you consider love as even an option?
I
I
don't
think
think
that
that there's
fluctuates from person to person, but at the same time,
right.
like you gotta really know somebody because even after all those years, she didn't really know her husband, obviously.
Right. So I think that sometimes you just know. And sometimes you just those feelings really grow fast. You know, if you have that chemistry and you click, but you can love someone and they not treat you right. You can love someone and they not love you back. You can love someone and they treat you like trash. So I think that you can love someone fairly quickly, but I don't think that you can know who someone is someone suited for marriage as quickly, but you can
Right.
fall in love with someone very quickly. That love bombing stuff that can make you fall in love with someone.
I was
Someone
gonna
telling
say,
you
how
everything
you
they
know
want you
the,
to
the
hear.
guys there are guys that can put that facade up, and they'll play that
Right.
out for the extreme until they can find another girl. You know, that's the tricky one right
Exactly.
there.
Or they
How
just
about
play the
time
whole
of
time
dating?
and then they turn out being gay like your friends, man.
Yeah. How about time of engagement and time of marriage? Like how long? I always thought I would be engaged. I would date a guy for like 2 years, and then I'd be engaged for a year, and then I'd get married for life. That's always been my plan. But I was married one time for 4 days, so obviously my plan failed successfully.
I know that story. I know that story. The pillow talk is crazy.
I love
But
you,
yeah,
Georgia.
I love you too.
So what do you think about the time of dating to the time of engagement to the time of marriage?
I don't think that there is any. I don't think there's an ideal time. Some people are together for years, like 8 years, before they even get engaged. I think it really depends on the person's place and how they in y'all's relationship. But I do think it takes time to truly know someone and truly get to know someone, because people can put on a facade for a while, but you can't put up that facade forever. So people can tell you what you want to hear, but actions speak louder than words. You know, if you
Right.
tell someone I need this from a relationship, I need that from a relationship, and they don't give it to you and make those sacrifices to give it to you, then you don't truly love me. If I'm telling you I need words of affirmation and you're giving me acts of service, then I'm not gonna feel loved because you're loving me in the wrong ways. You're not loving me the way I need to be loved. So
And
I feel
that
like it
goes
takes time.
and that goes back to the different. There's like 5 different forms of love or five
Love
different
languages. Yep.
love languages. Yeah.
Physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service. What else is it, guys? I'm out here.
Um,
Dedication.
How do you know? How do you know what your partner has with that one?
You ask them.
What was that?
They may
Sorry.
not know.
So for me, like mine, I think out of all the love languages, I feel like the hardest one to do is and I feel most loved where I can really see it. Like words of affirmation, that's fine. Like validate me, physical touch, affection, like we love that. But like when acts of service, when you are doing and acts of service is doing things that genuinely make your life easier. Like you just want to make my life easier.
breakfast in bed. How do you like your
Making your
eggs?
dinner plate, or
Right, wanting to give you their best. You know, it doesn't have to be like you have to like put hardwood floors throughout the house. No.
Hey,
But like the
barflies.
smallest things.
Thank you, Georgia. And barflies. Have you ever? Be honest. Have the barflies ever done a love facade to get some
Oh,
punani?
bloody hell. Oh, sorry.
Tracy, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely. And it's, like you do it, but then you're disappointed and it sucks because like you put all this effort and time into it and you get there and it's like, hello, like you get a weapon of destruction, for example, that you had and you didn't even know how to use it. Oh,
And how to use it, she said.
Gift if you get one that big. Do you know what I mean? Right, anyway. Girth. What were you going to say? Moving on.
But no, like I've never. It takes a lot to tell someone you really love them. You know, I've never told someone I love them just try to get in their pants, but
You never have. So you've never
No.
actually said, "Oh, girl, you are so beautiful. I want to spend the rest of my life with you." I know you're the girl for me. I just know it.
Not when have you told you liked her? Have you told you wanted to be with her? Have you told you wanted a relationship? Because it doesn't always have to be love. You could say, you know what, I can really see myself with you.
well, true.
And you know in your heart you don't want a relationship with that girl. You want her
You want a
vagina.
AJ.
If
you want
you
that-
put it like that, yeah.
That
Like,
wet
I'm thinking of like
succulent-
actually, you know, saying that you love them, you know, because it's a big word.
It is for
But have
some
you done the
people.
other
about
things
you,
though?
For me, I've never done it. I've said it when I probably didn't know myself. Like I actually felt it, but like it probably wasn't the actual truth in real, life scenario. But no, I've never put up a fake.
Because it's confusing. The lust and the love are both 4-letter words, and they're very similar. There's just that borderline between lust and love.
Yeah. No, I agree with that completely. But no, I never have. No.
All right, Barflies. What about? How do you know if she's the one? How do you know, Barflies?
You want me to start? The truth is, you actually do not. You never ever truly know. But
Nothing's guaranteed.
definitely give your best effort and see where the relationship develops. And there's no way there's no way you actually know. But if you guys walk together and you're together for a certain period of time and together all the time, then what's the difference of like truly like knowing or just, you're together, you're happy. They don't have to label it. That's kind of bottom line.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as you start paying those utility bills together, I think that's it. You're done. Most
Got it?
people
Yeah, bank account.
Because divorce sucks. Trust me, I'm going through it right now.
When I think of love, I definitely think of handing your heart over to someone else in such a vulnerable way. Like imagine metaphorically pulling out of your chest and handing it to someone, putting it in their hands, and asking them not to just crush it.
Like for your virginity, and I think it's the same as love. You can only give it once, like for your virginity. So you might as well, give it to someone.
I disagree with the love. I think you can be in love with somebody, then fall out, and then.
Of course, yeah, exactly. I still love my ex-husband. I just
You can
don't like
definitely
him.
fall out of love, but yeah. But like you say, once you'll always love that person.
Oh no!
Oh, you're glitching again, Casey.
He's
You're
frozen like
glitching. It's the
Elsa.
McDonald's Wi-Fi.
Oh man,
He's on that
it
Mac
is some
Wi-Fi.
shitty Wi-Fi. Or
How about you guys? How about the time of dating and time of engagement and time to marriage? Can you guys talk a little bit about what you thought me and Georgia were talking about? What did you guys think about
I don't
that?
think there's no time limit on that.
Everyone's
It all
different.
just depends on the people. You and whoever you're attracted to or in love with. Like,
But do you think it takes time? Do
Well,
you think it takes time?
I wouldn't
to really know
I'm
someone?
not
meet
able
someone
to
and then
get
a month
married
later
2
get
months
married.
after
No,
that.
like I wouldn't. Some people will do that.
I've met
Hey,
people
we
that
were
get
looking
married
engaged
2
when we
months
was
after
up
they
to 3
met.
months.
Some people that have been together for 7 years before they get married.
3
How
months
would you-
engaged. We were engaged within 3 months.
So there's
and
gotta
married for
be-
20
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dick Tracy. What?
Sorry, I said we were engaged within after 3 months. So we looked at rings and then we got engaged 6 months technically later, and then we were together for 20 years. So do you know what I mean? And
So what-
and 16 of those were pretty damn good. I can't really complain. Like the last 4 were a bit shit. So it doesn't matter about time. I think it's just yeah. So and now he's still a dick, but a vagina. I don't know what you would call him.
And that shows you though that nothing is guaranteed because you would think you're going to spend the rest of your life with that person, and then all of a sudden, like you say, within a year.
It's not always cheating. It's not always that. It's trauma. It's things that life hit. Life's a bitch. Do you know what I mean? Like it's just those curveballs, how you hit them back. You know what I mean? My cat is going up. I'm so sorry if she
It's not
counts.
always how you win, it's how you lose too. Like you gotta, really roll with the punches sometimes, even though you don't want to.
Yeah, I would rather have loved than never loved at all.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
So yeah, agree with your top badge. Woohoo! and I'm not having Shannon's baby. She's having mine.
It's a boy. I love love.
It's not letting me mute him. There we go. Hey, Tor! This is kind of a fun club. We sure have been getting deep in the bathroom, haven't we?
Yeah.
So I have another thing I wanted to talk to you about while we're still here. And girlfriend, we always talk in the bathroom. You know, you and I can go on for hours and hours.
Hours.
I know. But we always learn a lot about everything. You know what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, there's more flies. Woo! All right, so I was gonna ask you about the family pool and the in-laws. What's up with the in-laws when they become outlaws? What do you think? Do you have any feedback about that, Tortoy?
Feedback on if the in-laws.
Can they destroy love?
I think that depending on your partner's relationship with their family, they do value their family a lot. But I think that once, if you marry me, I am your wife. I am now your family. Yes, and you should stand by me. But then I also feel like there's a certain level of respect that your spouse should have for your parents, not to go there. In certain situations, like you shouldn't have to picking my side shouldn't be disrespecting your mother. You should never be in that situation. I feel like, if the mom is like saying one thing, your wife is saying another, you stick by your wife.
I have a couple
But
patients.
your wife should never disrespect your mother.
I have a couple patients, and I've heard the story from more than one of them that they've actually getting a divorce because of the wife's children or the wife's mother that moved in. I've heard that 2 different stories from my patients. So that is very interesting to me because I haven't had this experience because I was only married once for 4 days. But besides that, like I can't imagine divorcing a husband because his mother-in-law moved in and is bossing my children around or whatever. Like I can't imagine letting something like that, not being worked out.
Right, yeah, and I would think that like at that point, it's a man's job to talk to his mother one on one and say, "Look, this is my wife. This is how I run my household. At this point, you're undermining me. You're undermining my wife's authority. You are not their mother. You are their grandmother. And you need to set boundaries." And boundaries should have been set in the beginning. It shouldn't have been let fester for so long or whatever.
Right. But if if your mom's old and whatever, and she's been miserable and she's been your controlling mother and you've been your submissive child, I can see how the child, as an adult with the dominant mother in the house, would succumb to putting her first. I can understand that, even though I don't think it's right. I think the wife should be put above the mother-in-law or the outlaw or the in-law.
Right, exactly. And at the end of the day, it's your job to protect the peace of your family. And whatever is disrupting that peace can get out your life, can dismiss you,
So I remember when I got married, I only told everybody like the day before. So because I stole him from somebody, so it's a long story. You know the story.
I know the story. I know the whole story.
Bad, groovy. But anyway, long story short, what about information? When is the right time to share the fact that you're in love or you're gonna get married with your family? How do you know it's the right time to share it with your family?
I feel like if you have to hide it, you know something's wrong. You should be screaming it to the world.
That's right.
They should be waiting for you to get married.
They should be able to see the glow about you and say, "Why are you going?"
Right? Where you all tying the knot? They should be pressing you.
Yeah.
If I gotta hide it from you, I don't need to be married. If I gotta hide it from my friends and family.
What about remaining in a relationship to provide financial security?
I am a very independent person. I do things on my own. I don't ever want to be in a position where I'm relying on someone else. I feel like a woman should bring something to the table, a man should bring something to the table. Together you eat. I don't think that anyone should have to rely on any other person to where the fact where if they leave, you're left with nothing. And I don't think that you should stay in a relationship because of that, because money is not everything. Money is not worth your mental health, which we'll talk about next week.
Actually, you know what? Therapy is next week. Therapy.
Yep, I know. Which we'll talk about next week. Certain things are not worth your mental health. Like I said earlier about protecting your peace, you have to protect your peace against all costs, you know?
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with you. All right, barflies. We were wondering. Ooh, thanks for the love.
Here.
We're wondering about the family, the in-laws, the outlaws.
Okay.
They can have a big
That's
factor
right.
in it because that's, for example, on my ex was her mom had a big role to play in our breakup. We weren't married, but we were together for 8 years.
Wow.
But her mom had a
This
big
is
factor.
experience right here, everybody. This is experience, live experience.
It's fun. My in-laws actually chose me in the end.
Casey, go ahead. Keep going, Casey.
Go ahead. That's
know.
a story. I mean, what happened?
Yeah.
So I will.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
it started
Do what?
with me just having a mouth, you know, and I wasn't disrespectful. I wasn't, you know, rude or anything. I don't feel like. So this is when COVID started. We came up to visit because I was living in Texas and her family lives in Colorado. So we came up to visit and my ex was like, hey, you know, Casey, get your clothes together. I'm gonna do laundry. And her mom's like, well, you better hurry up because KJ's gonna be home and he has to do his laundry. And I was like, what do you mean? And my ex told me right away, she goes, Casey, shut up, because she knew what I was about to say. And because he worked 2 jobs, he got up at 4 o'clock in the morning, worked 2 jobs. She quit her job because of COVID. Didn't get laid off or fired. She quit her job because of COVID. And I was like, she's like, no, what were you gonna say? You know, and I was like, you know, never mind. She's like, no, what were you gonna say? And I was like, I think it's messed up that KJ works 2 jobs, has to come home and still do his clothes. And she's like, well, not all of us are from the South, blah, 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 blah. I was like, it's not about being from the South, the North, or wherever. I was like, it's about just moral respect for your significant other. Like, he's busting his ass to help pay off your debt that you helped rack up, you know, and pay y'all's bills. Like, y'all been together long enough to where you know how he likes his laundry done, you know, like. But
You do it better.
So you're saying the most
that
simple
started
thing-
that started the argument, and then it was like 4 months after that was when my ex left.
So one point that I thought about kind of hints off something we talked about earlier is
Thank you for
like
your box request, but we're in a show right now, Paul.
doing things for your significant other to make their life easier. And it also kind of hints on the last question we had too, where like when it comes to like finances and relationship. So I feel like if a man or a woman is out and they are the one then the main breadwinner and stuff, then you're at home and if that's your situation, that's okay. But like I said, money isn't everything. Money isn't everything. When I said you should both bring things to the table and together you eat, it does not always have to be money. Just because they make X amount and you don't have to make X amount. But if they're making X amount and you're at home, if rather you're home with the kids, home by yourself, there's certain things that you could do to hold it down. It's just like he holds
Have
it down.
dinner
and
ready
makes it
for
work.
them, you know,
Yeah,
when they get
together.
home.
You both work full time.
She could have washed the man's clothes.
Okay, you guys,
Yeah.
can we just
Yeah.
talk one at a time? When everybody's talking at the same time, we can't hear everybody. I really want to hear everything everyone has to say.
But when we're both working exactly the same hours, but separate hours, do you know what I mean? But same amount of hours, doesn't matter about how much money either one's pulling in. Don't you think that, like, you both contribute equally, sort of thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I used to get home at 4, my ex used to get home at 2. So I thought when I got home, well, why can't he do a little bit extra, as in
100%.
start the dinner at least? And then when I got home, but I had to go pick up the kids and stuff. So that's an extra task I had to do. Does that make sense? So like you kind of bully your way to make like the sales, you know?
And that's part of compromising too, like, you know.
Yeah. But mother-in-laws,
kind of.
Dwight, what do you think?
As far as compromising or
Well, how about this? How about when to share with the family? Because if you introduce someone, like let's say you want to introduce your girl to your parents, how do you know at one point if it's really like the right, like you know what I'm saying? Like when is the right time? When you know the right time.
Well, I mean, I would say you never really like truly know when the right time is, but
You really don't.
when you're ready to introduce to the family is when you're ready to like move it from A to like B, like the actual next level, and become more of an item and on the way to, you know, actual marriage. Like when you're like this is the potential, you know what I mean? So I would say there's never like an actual right, and it's more important if you have children, way more important.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Well, speaking of children, what if somebody remains in a relationship for financial security because they have children?
And they're
See
Catholic.
that you can't stay in a relationship because you have kids. That's just gonna make both of you miserable.
Cannot,
No, you
never,
can't.
never.
That's why a lot of divorces happen nowadays, and the kids are the ones that get hurt.
Right, it's not
Yeah,
fair.
but you gotta put the kids first.
They I feel like they suffer worse seeing you argue every day,
Yes,
all the
I agree
time.
with that. 100%. I am a divorced person, and yes, I tried to stay at one point, and it just doesn't. It's worse.
But I don't introduce my kids to just anyone though. You know,
See, where's that thin line though? That's exactly what I was wondering, Casey. I wanted to ask the barflies, what's that thin line?
if you know that you're gonna, well, you can't really say you know you're gonna stay with this person, but
If you think you're gonna stay with the person.
if you feel like that person might be in your life for a significant amount of time, then yes. But if you know that it's just gonna be like a one night stand, or you
What
know
about the
you're just
single mom
with this
who can't
person
get out on a date?
because you're comfortable with it for now, and then you're gonna move on, or they're gonna move on, then no. You know, you don't want to have, you know, because then your kids are gonna be like,
What about Casey? What about the single mom that can't afford a babysitter and has to take her kids with her on the date?
No
It happened to
bueno.
me. It happened to me.
I've went on a date with my best friend, and his date brought their baby. You know, but it was a baby, like wasn't even a
Can you
year
explain
old
that,
though.
or can you explain that?
So he
You
was like,
wanna
"Hey,
go
she
with
has to
your
bring her
best
kid.
friend?
You want to go with me?" And I was like, "Why not?" You know, we went to like old Chicago, but
You need reinforcements for that.
With what, buddy?
you just don't go on the date. You know what I mean? If your kids have to go and it's like a first date deal, and then it's, you know, yeah, you just don't go. Or either you wait until they go to sleep and be like, "Hey, we'll have dinner," or I'll bring over pizza.
In other
Sneak
words,
into the
she's better
window.
remain single at home than try and go out and meet somebody.
Well, no, like there's ways around it. Like I say, like when they go to bed, you know, okay, I'll bring over pizza. You feed them, get them,
It's
bathe them.
dangerous for your house. I have, which is dangerous. I caught one guy
after
with
hours,
a key
yeah,
all
I
over my
mean,
stuff.
That's true.
Yeah. Especially when you got kids in the house. You don't bring a stranger to your house.
Agree.
Oh.
And
That
it
is
also
true.
like it also can be hard for the kids too to be introduced to so many potential partners too. It's like mom got a new boyfriend now, dad got a new girlfriend now,
Yeah.
and like the kids become excited and attached, and they get close to these people, and they let their guard down and want to, like, you know, make that person part of their life, and the next thing you know, they're on to the next one. So I think that it's tricky when it comes to getting the kids involved.
Yeah, it is. It's a real trick. It's a real trick. You know, when I was younger, I had my daughter, and I had to take her on a date with me. Every time I went on a date, I had to bring her with me. And it was like you said, that they get attached to the man because they don't have a father, let's say. So they get attached to the male, and then if it's not going to work out there, then what? Then the kid gets hurt.
But if you have to do it, you have to do it. That's what you have to do. Like,
It
you
was
know,
either that or
no
go on no dates. It was either that or go on no dates because I wasn't going to leave her home alone, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Your cat's a little ferocious.
That pussy gets bigger.
Just going through that, like, that moment.
Oh, there's a cat in the bar. There's a cat at the bar.
Cover up that.
He
foot.
jumps around like a freaking rabbit.
Is over there smacking the flies?
Let's get back on subject. Buddy Kate said, I've been doing that pretending to be poor. Guess how many dates I get? Pretending to be poor? Probably none.
He probably doesn't have to pretend. All right,
Do you know what?
Paul, relax.
Girls are bitches that think of this money, I think.
No, Paul, I'm not bringing you in the box. We're in the middle of a show.
Dick Tracy, you're the hottest guy I've ever seen in here.
Okay.
Dang, girl.
This is a bit weird, isn't it? Toto, I'm like,
We
my
got
head's
one
falling
more.
apart.
All right, everybody. Hey, Tortor.
Hey, Groovy.
Here we are once again. I really have to use the bathroom.
Me too. This liquor is getting to me. I broke my seal.
I want to ask you one more thing. I want to talk about one more thing, girl. Well, I actually had two more things, but we can save it for another day. But you know, I was thinking about long distance relationships and streamers.
Okay, so I am someone who I value physical presence so much. Like I crave attention physically. Like I love affection and
Dora,
sex.
I have to go. Excuse me. Go ahead. Talk for me.
So when it comes to, you know, long distance relationships, for me, that never piqued my interest. But someone told me, you know, someone put it in perspective for me. They said, who says your soulmate is here with you? Who says your soulmate's in your city or even in your state? You know, you never know. And then also someone else once told me, they said there's kind of an exciting aspect that's possibly to be around to have a long distance relationship. Like what, you know, being able to just be spontaneous. You know, you don't always have to go to them or they go to you. You could both meet somewhere. You know, like let's go on a trip to meet me in Mexico, meet me in New York, meet me in California, meet me in Denver. You know, so there's definitely I think some spontaneity about it. And also if you're in a position in your life where you're trying to work on yourself, I think that it can allow you to have the break to do that, but also have that, you know, connection with someone else and possibly work towards something bigger. What about you, Groovy? What do you think? Your father came out of the stall.
I love you. You know, I think that I've tried a long distance relationship before. As much as I yearned for it to work out and he did too, it didn't work out. I think long distance relationships are pointless. I think that if you're in a relationship and you've already gone through the dating process and you got married and then he gets a job where he has to go away for 6 weeks or 6 months and then he comes back, I think those can work. I think a long distance relationship can work after there's been a relationship that's been foundation.
So what do you think about if you find someone, you connect with them, you want to see where it goes, you're a couple months in, but the end goal is like, look, if we're still together in like 6 months or so, like let's figure something out, like let's get closer to each other. Was that something you'd be open to?
Wait, back that question up. Say it one more time.
So if let's say you meet someone, right? And and you're a couple states away or whatever, how far away, and you're talking on the phone, you're really liking to get to know them, and you're like, I can see a future with this person. The only problem is the distance. Would you be willing to go forward with like continuing to talk with them, and if they were open to maybe relocating or maybe you relocating or making it work?
Yes, that would be fantastic.
But not forever. I can't do a long distance forever. It's like if it gets to a point where we could make something work potentially, then yes. But if there's no way in the next year or so that we would be able to be together, then I couldn't put myself through that.
Absolutely, I agree with that, because that would be really, really hard to like start to fall in love with somebody where you think about them constantly and then you can't have them. That's what I don't even really date anybody that's not close by, because I want to hold hands. I want to go to Walmart and hold hands. I want to run to Taco Bell together. Let's say, hey, you want to meet? Let's meet at Taco Bell. Let's have a taco together. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to interact and mingle, but at the same time, as a streamer, our friends are here. So how is streaming relationships? I know as a fact, I know two couples that are getting married. J-Nat and Cece are getting married in March. And then I just met a couple the other day that are getting married. So it happens on streamers, for streamers. It does. And that's a beautiful thing to know that. But What do you feel about streaming and relationships and love less than streaming?
So I'll take a different twist to it. Like, if I got in a relationship with like D White or something, you know, because you know he's a handsome man, and you know, I'm just saying.
As long as I cut his beard when he's sleeping, we're good.
I'm just saying, like, I would keep it off the app for a while because people get weird. There's people who gift me because they think I'm hot. There's people who gift me because I'm actually a genuine person. And not even just a gift, but also like the nature of your stream and the drama it brings when people find out the two people are dating is outrageous. I've seen it happen.
Really?
So I would want to be really secure in a relationship before I bring that to the app and let people know. Like I'd have to fall in love with D White, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Before I tell
That's some
anybody
good
about
insight.
us.
Well, you know what? That is some really good insight for the last time of this show. Why don't we go ahead and open up the man cave one more time?
Say my
Caution,
name. Say
everybody.
my
We've got the
name.
man cave open up.
Nobody's around you.
Say, baby, I love you.
You ain't playing games.
All right, go. All right, I'm listening.
Then as the cat is mad over
Go ahead, Barflies. What do you have to say about our conversations?
Do you think streaming and dating works?
So dating, letting people know that you're together on stream, it
wait,
can.
wait. First of all, long distance, please. Long distance relationships.
Long
first.
distance first.
Long distance doesn't usually
Answer
work,
the long distance.
but I
No,
would relocate.
No long distance relationship can work.
Even
I
if
mean,
we're
it can
down
start
under.
off, but no, it can't work.
It has to, in my opinion, it has to have an end goal. What's the end goal?
I
If
mean,
I meet
need
you
to
and
be
you're far away
together.
from me, right? But like, is there a plan though? Like, if I meet
Yeah,
you
if
and
there
you're
is
far
a
away
plan,
from
it can
me,
start. Yeah, but there has
then
to be a plan.
I might entertain it. But like, we have to speak logically here.
Of course.
Tracy, how do you feel?
Oh, look, I can't see any one of you guys or Americans coming down and seeing me. Can you? Like down in Australia? Total different
Yeah.
thing there.
We're out.
So I said as soon as I went on this app, I'm not going to talk to anyone interstate or overseas, you know, because that's usually where you find someone that you don't want to, you know, when it's law.
Right.
But no, long distance relationships, I can't move. I've got two kids that are under, you know, age of, 17 and 13, and they're in high school. It's important time for them, and you can't just you've got to think as a mom, you're there for them. You know what I mean? Like, and I've got 100% care. So,
But then again, it goes back to compromise too. Like if you really love someone, like I think that first it would be definitely like from traveling back and forth. But if you really love someone and you know you click in person, you know that that's what you want to be with, and some sacrifice has to be made on either whatever it makes sense. Like for me, my career is in the state I'm in. You know, like I actually can't for licensure move to another state. I'd have to start over with licensure. So like.
Same
So,
with
like,
me. Same with me.
my
I'm licensed.
license-
My medical license lies in Arizona.
Right. So like I'm working towards licensure in my state. So like if D White and I wanted to get together, he might just have to come here to the city. I'm just
You know
saying
why? Am I more important than your career if you love me?
that too.
Well, if you got enough money, shine my career. But if I gotta support
Fall
myself,
back, mom, make your lifestyle easy.
if I have to support myself, then
It also, I guess,
I agree.
depends on what your
Yeah, I know what
career is. Like I'm an electrician, and like I have my journeyman's license for the state of Texas, but here in Colorado, like I'm a journeyman, but I am not a licensed Colorado journeyman until I retake my test here, because some states reciprocate and some don't.
Right, but if
Now,
you take a
once
test
I'm-
for that,
once you're but some things it takes work to acquire those licenses, and then you can then take a test or do something small to get licensed in another state. So it's like it depends on the longevity of the relationship. Like sometimes you might be stuck where you are for a second, but it depends. Is this something that we could actually make happen in the future? And what is the plan to get there? If there's no plan to get there, I'm not going to be with you.
both people should be on the same page, regardless. And then if you're on the same page and it works out, it works out. If it don't, it doesn't. So
Can I tell you how it works? A happy wife is a happy life.
you know what? A happy husband is worth. Make me a sandwich.
If you guys were in a long distance relationship, how would you feel about would you keep it like exclusive, or would you How do you guys feel about that?
I
Like,
like
what
that
if,
question. I
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
if I'm in a relationship
Wouldn't
with
be
somebody,
sharing
it's gonna be exclusive.
what if it's not like when I say relationship, I mean like it doesn't like I'm not saying like you're my boyfriend, you're my girlfriend. If you know that you have feelings with someone, but it's just not gonna work right here, right now because of the current situations, like would you be open to having something open, but also keeping in touch and like waiting for that time for you guys to really be serious about things?
Well, I'd
Yeah.
be happy to have it open, but not talk, not know exactly. You know they're going to be doing stuff, but just not go, oh, last night, man, I had that one over there. He was good. I had that one over there. He was good. You know, I just rather like say, look, let's just keep it open, but keep it also respectful. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Dick Tracy, when you boys are flying your D's around, you guys will just get those things wet. How is that respectful?
Yeah, I kind of agree with
I've
Ruby.
got 3,998,000 more to go to try.
But if
out.
you really like that, if you really feel like you're attached to that person, you wouldn't be going out and trying to get other.
No, you wouldn't.
Right.
You already had the
Long distance.
sandwich.
If you have feelings for someone, you know, you're not looking elsewhere. I know that when I am really, like that's how I know when I'm really into someone, because I'll be out and about and I won't even, my eyes won't even go there. Like I'll just,
Right.
I'm not even
Nobody else is important. Right.
Or you're messing around with someone and then it's like you have ED, you know, and it's like
What is that? Oh, erectile dysfunction.
What's that called?
I'm just saying, like you're messing around with someone and then all of a sudden, you know,
you
that
better knock
person's
us
on your
the
mind.
wood, literally.
Or, you know, then like
I want to know if I can pass this off to you.
you would what?
Dick Tracy's always got a hard dick. I think.
I believe it.
Yep, that's why I've got my pussy right here, and it's like.
Well, no, I'm just saying like the attraction to whoever, you know, because as you get older, I do believe like, you know, because used to you could bang anything that walked, or me anyways, you know, but then it's like as you get older, you start to realize, okay, you kind of have to have that physical and emotional, you know, the whole 9 yards attachment to even get physical, you know,
Right.
to fornicate.
Can I say here, right? I know that as well because I'm trying a bit of different age groups. Do you know what I mean? Like different genres. You go down to the 23-year-olds. It's all about. And then you go.
Cheek slap.
You get older. It's like a lot more. You know, you can tell when a man's definitely matured. But like I said, if they've been blessed with a weapon, they need to learn how to use it. So. Sorry about that. Not too many.
Well, I have a lot more that we could have talked about this evening, everybody. However, our show is over, so if you guys, we're gonna stick around and talk a little bit more. If anyone wants to stick around, I have a couple more cool, interesting things to talk about. But if you guys came to the Babe Cave show, I want to say thank you so much. Please favor my co-host is Tortor, right there, or is she over there?
Please thank you guys.
Other way.
Favorite D White, Casey, and Dick Tracy.
Hold on.
Please
Since
favor all
y'all
my
were singing,
that my co-host is. And we're gonna go over real quick. We're gonna go ahead and disclose a little bit about our streams real quick. So go
Alexa, play
ahead.
Pony.
What's that? Tortor?
Alexa, play Pony.
Tortor, go ahead and tell us a little bit about your stream.
All right, guys. So I've been streaming just shy of 6 months.
Sorry.
Just shy of 6 months. I've been on the app. I started gifting and streaming at the same time. I stream pretty much daily. You can mostly catch me around at nighttime. I have a secret talent.
Oh, she sure does, y'all. Wait till you go to her stream. Just send her a wheel. Say if I send you the ice
No,
wheel.
wheel is cheap, Groovy. Don't sell me off for a wheel.
Oh,
Make it make sense.
What the heck?
the other one.
You're on the jet.
Yeah, the VIP wheel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There we go.
No, I'm kidding. Come to my stream on Tuesday for Twisted Tea Tuesday. You'll find out about it.
You want a gold one?
Twisted
Well,
Tuesday?
well,
Is that what you
we
call it Tuesday now? I love it. Twisted Tuesday?
No, I used to do that, but then I stopped because it got toxic. But I basically like a shotgun and chug a beer or a Twisted Tea or anything in like 2 seconds, and it's really
You guys have
fascinating.
never seen that woman chug like she can. It's insane. 2
Yeah,
seconds.
but-
the whole beer's gone.
Can't wait.
I'm hosting an auction next month. It's my first event that I'm hosting by myself. And it's going to be Tortor's Valentine's Day Love Affair auction where you can fight for the love of your favorite streamers.
I'm in a Valentine's Day auction.
I'm in one too. I'm in my own at 11 o'clock on February 11th. And then I'm also in March, I'm in Chronic Chris's Newbies Royale, which I'm scared about, but it's going to be fun. It's fine. It's whatever. But yeah, you can catch my stream. I faved all you guys in the box.
Yep, same. I blocked.
Who's my top gifter now? Shout out to Groovy.
Oh.
I better be your top gifter.
Say bye. She's eating. She's happy.
All right, Tracy, why don't you guys tell us a little about your stream? D-White.
So I only really started. I was more of a, definitely a writing comments ho before. So now I'm just started streaming a little bit. I get on with Fairy Godmother as well. We have a little rude show about, sexy stuff, but it's not a show. It's just like what we talk about. It's quite entertaining. And then, but I only come on like probably every second, third day, usually late at night.
You only come on when? You come on when?
Late at night for me, which will be probably daytime for you guys. So I've got to get that whole, because it's only like, it's 3:45 here at the moment. It's like 3:30, 4 o'clock. So yeah, my afternoon started. So you guys are what time? Yeah, that's what I'm looking into the beers.
All right, Casey, tell us a little bit about your stream.
So mine's just kind of depends on the day, come in and whatever topic's going is what topic's going. But, I just sit and I play music, play guitar, got a bunch of different instruments. And since y'all started off singing Say My Name, I got a little something for you though. So it's like Dark Child Na Na.
Groovy, you're doing so great, Groovy.
Just the other day, I would call, you would say
my name, but no one.
Yeah.
Baby, how's your day? But today, I say.
Hey, did you already talk about your stream?
I did not.
Would you please tell us about you and your stream, because we do want to hear.
Okay, so my
Thank you,
stream.
Casey, for that gift. We'd love to hear more after.
Okay, so I try to stream daily, but since I
Get it,
recently got a little bit of workflow going, so I stream probably let's call it every other day. Like to have box parties, like to have games, fun and games, and we'll play all kind of random games, and the stream gets pretty hot and heavy sometimes. So everybody's allowed. Katie, you're welcome. Everybody's welcome.
Hi, Heavy, what you mean?
Well, you guys, my name is
I want
Groovy's
to
Beach.
find out. How about that?
My name is Groovy's Beach, and I have a very special auction coming up on the 27th, which is next week Friday, this coming Friday.
A battle, guys.
Let's
A
go.
Battle Royale. Did I say auction?
You
Yes.
did the auction.
Oh, boy. Battle Royale, you guys. Battle Royale. I'm
Thanks for having me, girl. Appreciate it.
I'm going against a big shooter, so I would really appreciate if you guys would come locked and loaded. How rude, D-White. We all listen to you talk.
Right.
I'm so open and honest. Now, if this is a featured show, I wouldn't have said that. But because it's not a featured show, I said that to my friend. How rude.
Yeah, D-White.
Are you here?
Anyway,
Whoa.
guys, I do a groovy game show on Tuesday nights at midnight, which I think I'm going to move it to 11 p.m. Then I also do the Babe Cave. I'm actually I'm fluctuating between Saturday and Sunday. I normally have about 500 views at the end of the show. We only have almost 200 on a Saturday night, so I'm going to probably move it back to Sunday night. All right?
So why did you change it tonight? Was it just changed because?
I shifted the night from Sunday